It's going to be 4 days now since the shocking Anjali hit and drag case in the national capital. Today, the Delhi police had a detailed press conference in which they added a new twist, that there are 2 more accused for whom there is now a lookout. This is in addition to the 5 who are already under arrest. The police have revealed the names of these 2, but not much else. It is also shocking how such a high-profile crime happened right under the nose of the Delhi police, and today, 4 days on, they are still piecing together who all were involved. But first, the story so far.
Justice for Anjali. The chorus is getting louder and louder. People were out on streets on a cold Thursday morning in the national capital. Anjali's family members and neighbors took out a protest march and demanded strict action against all the accused.
They are also saying that this girl Nidhi, who is believed to be the friend of Anjali, should be tried under the law as well, because as far as her statement is concerned, so she is somewhere misleading the investigation.
अगर ये हादसा होता तो गाड़ी है, गाड़ी के नीचे कुछ भी आता है, अगर एक अद्दा आ जाता है तो उसमें भी पता लगता है कि गाड़ी के नीचे कुछ आया है, तो इंसान हादसे के मुताबिक देखना चाहिए ना उतर के। देखो, हम अंजलि की दोस्त को नहीं जानते थे, हमारी बेटी हमारे घर से अकेली आती थी और अकेली जाती थी। निधि से क्या लिंक है हम उसके बारे में नहीं जानते बिल्कुल भी।
Even Nidhi's mother today came out and defended her daughter.
मैं क्या बताऊं, बस मेरे को तो इतना ही पता था, इतना।
She revealed that Nidhi got scared after they met with the accident. Nidhi's mother went on to allege that the accused even tried to run the car over her.
3 बजे आई थी साहब जी।
3 बजे रात में?
हाँ जी।
हाँ।
घबरा रही थी बहुत तगड़ी, मम्मी मेरी साथ एक्सीडेंट हो गया बहुत तगड़ा।
हाँ।
मेरे को भी मार रहे थे वो लोग। बस यही बात हुई थी साहब जी।
On the other hand, there has been some shocking revelations that have been made in the case. The Delhi police today conducted a press briefing and revealed that there are total 7 accused in the case and 2 of them are still missing.
CCTV फुटेज के आधार पर और जो CDR के आधार पर हमें ये पता लगा है कि इसमें 2 लोग और इन्वॉल्व थे और उनके लिए पुलिस अभी रेड कर रही है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन अभी जारी है।
Meanwhile, a new CCTV footage has also emerged. 5 accused in the case can be seen abandoning their vehicle in a parking lot and fleeing in an auto after the accident. One of the accused got out of the vehicle and looked down to check under the car on the left side. This coincides with the forensic report which confirmed that Anjali's body was stuck on the left front wheel of the car. If we look at all the evidences which have been found until now and the adding up of 2 more accused in the case, a question clearly arises here. Is it still not a case of murder?
All right, before we go to our guests, I want to bring you up to speed with this latest CCTV footage that's come out. This is again moments after the accident. This car is seen parked on the side of the road. It's coming through. It's being parked. There are 2 other people who are waiting there. The people inside the car, the 5 accused, they get out. And one of the accused persons gets out of the car, goes to the back of the car, and then looks down at the bottom, below the chassis of the car to see what is there. Now, why that footage is important is because that shows that these people in the car knew that there was something below the car which was restricting its movement. Now, by this time, there is no timestamp on this video, but by this time, the body had already been flung off from the car. But the fact that the accused goes on to the rear side of the car, looks under the chassis of the car to see what was obstructing its movement, clearly shows that they knew that there was something below the car which was impeding its movement. Let me now bring in our guests who are joining us. Anuja Kapoor, spokesperson of the BJP, Abhinandita Mathur, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Dr. Vikram Singh, former IPS officer, former DGP, Anubhav Rastogi, senior advocate, will also be joining us. Anuja Kapoor, let me start with you first. Again, today what the Delhi police press conference revealed, and it's raising very, very serious questions. After 4 days, the Delhi police are now revealing there are 2 more accused, not just the 5 who were arrested on day 2, but 2 more accused. They're still on the run. We know their names, but very little else. One of them happens to be the owner of this car. This car was, for all practical purposes, the murder weapon in this case, and the owner of this car has not been apprehended yet.
I think we should wait and watch. And the police has already been bringing up the whole investigation in front of everybody. And they will reveal the investigation till then, because they also have to stand in the court of law. Being an advocate, I can also say that. So they will give you those kind of things which should be given in media, because otherwise it would not be corroborated in it. But if you think that police will not apprehend these people, this is wrong. Because they are the ones who
can I ask a series? No. Look at the sequence of events. First day this crime happens. Till the media outrages about it, the family creates a shindy about it. They don't register the FIR. It takes 15 hours for the police to register the FIR. And that too under very light charges. After that, the police produce this mystery witness, this star witness. Within 24 hours, there are major loopholes in her theory. And today, 4 days on, they're saying it's not 5 accused, there are 7 accused and 2 others we're still looking out for. At every step of the way of this investigation, questions are being asked of the Delhi police.
Zakaji, I think you and me are not the police. So let us allow them to do their work. Amit Shah ji is clearly taking a watch in this, and the LG of Delhi is also looking into it. So you and me, the conscience is clear. We both want justice for Anjali. So let's go ahead in that. And wherever there is a loophole during the murder or whatever is in an accident, is a culpable homicide amounting to murder or not, whatever the sections is going to come up in loophole during these times and during this investigation, 304 can be converted into 302 also. So let's wait and watch, and
I'll come to that part. How does the case go from culpable homicide not amounting to murder to attempt to murder? But let me ask Abhinandita Mathur of the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. No, one second. Let me go to Abhinandita Mathur, please. The point is, what Anuja Kapoor is saying is, give the police time. It has just been 4 days since this crime happened. Yes, there may have been lapses. Yes, there are question marks on the investigation, but no police anywhere in the world, not in New York, not in London, is able to crack such high-profile cases within a matter of days. Give the Delhi police time. They are a competent force, and they will prove this matter when it goes to trial.
Thanks. Fair enough. As far as giving the police time is concerned, in any normal circumstances, I think that would be an acceptable demand. However, look at the chronology of events that have happened. Look at the series in which the way in which first the police was trying to defend it as an accident, and as you have seen the issues emerge. One accused obviously being a poster boy of the BJP. So given the absolutely shameless handling of the case, it is obviously important for us to keep the pressure on to ask important questions, because it's not about 3 days or 4 days. Of course law will take its own course, but this shabby response that the girl's family has had to go through is that is, 4 days are too long. Every day is hurtful, every day is ridiculous. Every delay, every day that there is a delay in investigation, or if the investigation goes off track, it's really causing a lot of injustice and harm to the case. And I think that it's not about 3 days or 4 days. Obviously we are responsible and we understand what that means, but
let me ask Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP.
There are a couple of questions that emerge, and there are a couple of questions that emerge that the BJP spokesperson unfortunately is not addressing. One, why is the law and order situation in Delhi deteriorating? What is the LG Sahab doing? Because clearly he's doing more than, instead of focusing on what he's mandated constitutionally, he's busy, interfering in the Delhi government's work, and that is a problem, because that obviously distracts him from the real job he has on hand. Number two, why is it that there are so many accused of cases, crimes against women, how do they find pana in the BJP? What is this, organization, and why are there so
Okay,
many?
no, these two are both
The
political
maximum
charges.
number
I
of
think this
rapists,
issue, this
maximum
crime is
number
far
of accused.
above politics between AAP and BJP or any political
Correct,
party for that matter.
absolutely.
Let me
No,
go to Dr. Vikram
absolutely,
Singh, please. With your permission,
absolutely.
let me
And
go
I
to
say-
Dr. Vikram
and-
Singh. Dr. Vikram Singh, the point is, if you have to prove that this was a murder, then the police need to be able to demonstrate what is called in legal parlance mens rea, that there was intent to kill by these four accused. The problem is, how are they going to show that there was intent to kill? The one star eyewitness that the Delhi police have produced, there are multiple loopholes in her version. There are two accused who are still absconding, and we don't know when they will be apprehended. The Delhi police have already told court today that the four accused are making contradictory statements. How is the Delhi police going to prove in trial, when this matter goes to trial, that there was intention to kill? I'm convinced that, you cannot drive a car with so much as a stone stuck under your car, forget about a live human body stuck under your car, without knowing what was there. So as far as I'm concerned, there was clearly intent. They knew about it, and the latest CCTV footage is an example of that. But how will the police prove this?
Zaka, this is not something that is not possible. And any skillful investigator can do it. It is not just something they have to write an article on the black hole theory. It is something simple. Yes, painstaking and sincere and investigation with integrity and transparency. Obviously, when these people are subjected to interrogation, thorough interrogation individually, then collectively subjected to lie detector tests, rest assured, it does not take more than 48 hours to get to the bottom of the mens rea also. Obviously, there's a mens rea. Obviously, there it is. But you have to have the killer instinct in you to get to the bottom of the whole theory. This wishy-washy attitude of first registering under 279 accident, then in such a reluctant manner adding further section 304A, then adding another section that is 304. I mean, this is not the way approaching the police. In your first show, I told you they should have registered 201, destruction of evidence in the first place. They did it only yesterday. This is not the way a professional police functions. There are ways and means that you should first have taken the victim's mother into confidence that whatever they said should have been faithfully incorporated in the FIR. If it is not borne out, please expunge that. But you try to build up your own theory. And that is where the problem arises. Your sincerity is that question. And that is why Ms. Mathur, what she's saying, you have to, in fact, reinforce your credibility now by incorporating all the sections, giving due protection to the witness who require protection, and also subject these people, don't pussyfoot on their interrogation. Their lie detector test should have happened by now. It has not happened. Well, the impression that is going, are you soft on them? The impression now.
Today, for example, and I want to know, I can't for the life of me understand, give a cogent, logical explanation for this. Anubhar Rastogi, the call detail records, some information was put out by the Delhi police. Now, the CDR of Anjali and Nidhi revealed that both of them were together till 2 a.m. when this accident happens. The CDR also shows there were no calls between Anjali's phone and any of the phones of the accused persons. Now, we know from 2 a.m. till 4:15 a.m. till the PCR reached, this car was driving around this part of Delhi with a body stuck under its chassis. Why don't they reveal the call detail records of the accused persons? Who were they calling in these 2 hours? Because I can bet you that some important calls were made in that 2-hour period. Why is the Delhi police not putting that information out in the public domain?
No, that cannot be.
See, I think, let me just also just say this, that the fact that the police is, I don't know why we are surprised, because this is the pace at which the police really functions. Either they refuse to register FIRs, and when they do, this is the pace. So, of course, and I'm not justifying it, and it's not okay. But the fact is that this is the pace that they know how to function on. And it's in cases like this that we, that normal people come to know, laypersons come to know that this is how the police is functioning. But lawyers like us see this all the time. This is, so they are this slow, they are this unsure, they have their own theory, which then they project on the case. And then if anything else happens, they sort of try to either keep it aside or it really makes the case fall. And as far as, the police revealing what is coming out in the investigation, I, for one, as a criminal lawyer, I'm never in favor of the police revealing everything. While I understand that it brings in their own accountability, because there are, especially in cases like this, where the public is also asking them questions, the media is asking them questions, but it's an investigation. We must understand that it's an investigation which is still under progress. Yes, it needs
but Anubha, the police are revealing some details. All this CCTV footage has come via the police. The fact that the CDR reveals that Anjali and Nidhi were together was also revealed by the police. So my point is, the police is also selectively putting out information, the ones that they want to put out. The issue I'm asking is, why are they not putting out the CDR of the accused persons? You will clearly know to whom the calls were made.
Who were they calling? No, I completely agree with you, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. That because the police or the investigating agency or the investigating officer in every case, I mean, this is not any different from any other investigation that they otherwise do. They already have a mind of what must have happened. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're completely off the mark. And it's only then feeding that story that they go ahead. And I mean, cases like this keep calling up for police reforms. I understand that they are, that they don't have enough human resources, etc. Doesn't justify anything. But how far and how long are we going to keep saying these things?
Okay, let me go to Anuja Kapoor again. Today the police have come out and said one of the missing accused persons, now it's not 5, it's 7, one of the missing accused persons is the owner of this car. I mean, shouldn't this person have been apprehended already? It's been 4 days. His car, the car registered in his name, has mowed down a young woman and dragged her body for 10 to 12 kilometers. And this is, 4 days later is when we come to know of this information, and this man is still absconding, number one. Number two, the guy who was driving, Amit, I think his name is, apparently did not even have a driver's license. I mean, look at the gravity of the crime. It's bad enough what they have done. This man should have never been behind the wheel of a car. Anuja ji.
Zaka ji, many things should have not been happening. Drink and driving also should not have been happening. As my friend who's sitting there, if we ask then who are the people who are behind the supplying of the liquor in Delhi, again there will be a big hue and cry. So until 3 o'clock in the morning, they were the ones, we all know new excise policy which came. Now, if we talk about apart from this, as I am also an advocate, and we have Vikramji and we have another lawyer. One thing I would like to just put one thing across, that whoever is driving and not driving, and if they do not have a license, it is again a crime. First, drink and driving, and then you do not have a license, again it is a crime. And then when you know something, and then you are trying to ward off the evidence, again it is a crime. That is why I was telling you that 304 can be converted into 302 once when we understand the guilty mind, mens rea. And when we understand that there is, an intention to carry along with it. Now, because she died under this process only, so definitely a murder charge can come up later. Now, when they are going slowly and slowly towards the investigation, they will keep looking into the areas and the theory which they already have in mind, or the theories they are trying to connect. Now, just we sitting here in media, and we try to become a police and try to understand their conceptuality, and we ask why
I'm sorry to dispute this. Frankly, if the media and the local people there had not outraged, this case would have been buried. This case would have gone as a single column story on page 5 of a newspaper, and that was that. The fact that the media is outraging and the local people there are appalled at what has happened, that's why the police are forced to do this. Otherwise, I don't believe in the benevolence of the police force that, they're such a great force that they will tackle every crime with purpose and zeal and determination. No, the entire country's focus today is on the Delhi police, and they better give us some answers.
I think, Zaka sir, why would you need a CDR in this? This is an evidence act. This is an evidence. It has to collaborate it in the court. I think you understand the gravity of the evidences.
Yes.
Under the section 60B, we all understand that. So why asking something which is, I don't know, sir, you are a responsible person.
The call detail
Let
records.
It come in the court.
One second. The call detail records of Anjali and Nidhi and where their phones were at 2:05 a.m. and the fact that they were together was not put, it's not some reporter who went and found that. The Delhi police have released that information, okay?
Sir, allow
Now,
them,
one second,
them to
ma'am, let me
give
finish.
whatever
The
they
Delhi
have
police have
to.
released that information. The Delhi police have also released the information that the CDR of the 5 accused persons and the CDR of Anjali show that no calls have happened between their phones. So which means they had
there
no...
must be a theory that has to go in the
They were
court.
not known to each other. Agreed. If they are willing to put out the CDR of Anjali and Nidhi and the fact that there were no calls between the accused and the victim, then why don't they just simply reveal the phone calls that the accused made in the 2 hours that the body was stuck under his car?
No.
Zaka sir, what we are looking into is we really want this thing to come under justice. So let's work into this. We BJP are with the victims only, and with the deceased. You understand that we are putting them a lot of pressure already, because this has to come up in clean chit, in transparency in front of the public, because this is one thing which has been reported by you, and thank you. But there are many incidents which are not even reported.
Yes,
so that is
exactly.
What we are talking about.
The reason why the Delhi police is showing some amount of intention to go after these fellows is because of the intense media spotlight on this case. Let me ask Abhinandita Mathur, but frankly, the reality is that even when Nirbhaya happened, the entire country was outraged, the media was on that story, but finally the media will move on to some other story. And then when the spotlight is away, that's when, people tend to start forgetting. I mean, the question we have been asking, Abhinandita, over the last 1 week is, what has changed in Delhi? 10 years ago, Nirbhaya happened, now Anjali is happening, and God knows, next year something else will happen.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Unfortunately, we are back to square one. And, if it were not for the media to raise the right questions and pick up this case in the seriousness the way they did, and of course the local residents and the family, as well as even the political opponents of the BJP, everybody is talking in one tone, except for the BJP right now, who are just coming up with random excuses. And so anyway, politicking aside, I think that you're right about actually making a change where it matters and working on women empowerment and visibility of women in public spaces throughout the year, and not only when some incident happens. And I think that is where the Delhi government will come in very strongly. We are already working on a number of policies that encourage women's participation in the public space.
Dr. Vikram Singh, how soon do you think the Delhi police will be able to crack this case? Because it seems like with each passing day, some new fact is coming out, some new revelation is coming out, some new twist is coming out in a way that we didn't know on day one, or the Delhi police did not reveal that information on day one or day two. For example, the star witness that they produced. Today, the entire media has landed up at her house and she's not there. The Delhi police teams have landed up there and she's not there. Her family members are not there. Presumably they are, under the protection of the Delhi police because she's a star witness. But look at the holes in the theories that she's come up with, whether it was that Anjali was drinking, or whether it was that her phone was damaged, the fact that, she left her friend to die. I mean, who does that? Which human being can do that? Leave your friend to die under the chassis of a car and you go home hale and hearty.
Zaka, you're very right. The Delhi police was caught on the wrong foot. And in fact, there's so many things that they could have done better. In this case, whatever Nidhi is saying has to be eyed, viewed, evaluated with a microscope, because the topsy-turvy and the way she has changed her stance multiple times, I would have my own reservations about her statements. And any skillful investigator would find out the flaws and the holes in her statement, because she has contradicted herself multiple times. And this is where the problem is, that everything has to be pieced together like pieces of jigsaw puzzle till the true story, the correct story emerges, because as of now, she seems to be conceding more than what she is revealing. And therefore, here is the problem for the investigator, a skillful investigator, to verify every word that he has shared, because there are 3 contradictions. There is no time. I would agree that are glaring examples that she is trying to lead the police and the investigators up the garden path.
Okay, I'll give Anubhav Rastogi the final word. There are mitigating factors when this case goes to trial and eventually, conviction and then sentencing is decided upon. There are mitigating factors. I am sure the defense counsels, the first thing that they will do is A, pick holes in Nidhi's theories, the credibility of the prosecution witness, and secondly, the fact that if they're able to prove this in court, that both the accused and the victim was drunk, that also becomes a mitigating factor.
Absolutely, and see, and that's the reason I'm very concerned about the entire morality of this witness that we are trying to right now rip apart. I don't think this is the correct time to do that. I don't think this is correct to do that anyway. But having said that, I also want to add that and this is where the good investigation really happens, because obviously it appears that these people were drunk. The people who were in the car were drunk or were high on something. But the moment they have realized, and this is where it really becomes circumstantial and it's being pieced together, because they have realized that something was stuck under them, whether it's a person or an animal or something. They have realized that's the reason why they kept going round in circles. So from not knowing and it only being a rash and negligent act, it did move to they knowing what is happening, that they knowing that whatever they're doing is actually hurting something or someone. So the intention and the knowledge.
Exactly.
Irrespective of the fact that when it began, they had no intention and no knowledge, if that's the case that comes up, during the course of those 1.5 to 2 hours, it did change. And that is what will really change the game on this particular case of whether it's only a conviction, if it's a conviction, whether it's only a conviction on a rash and negligent act, or it is a culpable homicide, not amounting to murder,
homicide, not amounting to murder. Okay. All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. I want to thank all our guests for joining us. We'll see how the story plays out. We're getting some breaking news. The DGCA has now issued a show cause notice to Air India. CNN News 18 has accessed details of the DGCA notice, but it's not just one. There's been a second instance that's come up as well. In this instance, it was a Paris-Delhi flight. The passenger's name is Sultanpuri. The information was received about this unruly passenger. This happened on the 6th of December. Ridhima has more details. So 2 cases within the space of a week or so, or 10 days. 26th of November, the New York-Delhi one, and then 6th of December, the Paris-Delhi one, both on Air India. And in both cases, the role of the staff and what they did or did not do in the aftermath of these incidents, that is being sharply drawn into question. If Ridhima is there, that question about how the role of Air India staff, cabin crew, as well as even the pilots for that matter, is being called into question in the aftermath of this despicable behavior, not once but twice. Ridhima, can you hear me?
Can hear you now, Zaka. Could you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, I was saying it's not just one instance. There are now 2 instances. And in the first instance, now we even have a DGCA notice to Air India.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what is extremely shocking, Zaka, if you look at the fine print of the DGCA notice, they are saying they themselves came to know about the incident on the 4th of January, which means yesterday. Remember, the episode took place on the 26th of November, and thus they've now issued a show cause notice. What does it say? It says prima facie it emerges that provisions were not complied with. It also goes on to say that the conduct of the airline appears to be unprofessional. It further says the conduct of the airline has led to a systematic failure. It says, mincing no words, lacks appreciation of the regulatory obligations. Prima facie, the conduct of the airline was devoid of empathy, something that we've been pointing out, that there was no sense of sensitivity and urgency shown. It further also says, thus a show cause notice has now been issued, a show cause as to why enforcement action shouldn't be taken, why no action against them for the dereliction of obligations. They've now been given 2 weeks to respond to this show cause notice, but this is not where the shocking part ends. This is where it actually begins, because now there is a second case which is being reported as well. We're understanding this was a Paris to Delhi flight where a man urinated on a woman's blanket. The pilot made a call to the ATS. He was apprehended on arrival, but let go after an apology.
All right, it's absolutely shocking. This is criminal behavior, and there should be criminal liability and punishment for this kind of behavior. We'll see how the story plays out. Clearly not something that Air India seems to be covering itself in glory. At least the role of the cabin crew and the job that they were supposed to do is being really called into question. That's a wrap. In fact, that is what is going to be the big focus in just a moment when Ridhima joins you with the biggest exclusive.